Okay, guys, welcome to the Rosebud Thorns. Now, this is kind of a 2 week period here. We're a little behind the mark because we were a little under the weather.
By a little under the weather, she means we were damn near dying.
Yeah. So this is a 2 week Rosebud Thorn from March 17th to March 30th. So that's kind of where we're going with this. So we've got a lot of input here. I think there's 12 submissions. So not crazy, but it's going to give us a really good base to go off of. Okay, so we'll start with Chris. Chris sent in his rows for this week, increasing weights and reps in the gym pretty consistently the last 2 weeks. His bud, so what's coming along for him? Sleep schedules getting better. Kept my bedtime window within an hour on both work and non-work nights. So that's really great. That's something that we've been talking about, was going to bed and waking up at similar times. And then a Thorn is balancing workouts with work, sleep on my day, my
With
7 days.
work and sleep on my 7 days on shift.
I'm sorry, I get mouth jumbled.
Marble mouth. Okay. So yeah, when we look at balancing workouts with work and sleep on a 7 on, 7 off shift, it definitely takes a little bit of that kind of precarious balancing act. And the question, I guess, for anybody that works shift work is, where can we fit it in and where are we willing to, right? Because the options become a little more limited, especially when we have longer shifts to either before shift or after shift. And lots of times after shift, we're a little bit too tired to get to that gym if we just worked a 12 or 14-hour shift. So then we start to look at, is there a possibility of maybe moving those workouts to the weekends, or moving the time of workouts to mornings to fit those in. The other option is on those 7 days. I know a lot of people that work crazy schedules, and we start to look at possibly just increasing daily movement on your shift. So when you're on shift, just taking the stairs, parking further away from work, doing the things that are going to increase general activity for the day, not specifically the workouts, to alleviate a bit of that stress, and then just getting back to the workouts when you're on your 7 days off. Just because I know sometimes schedules get full, we feel almost like we have to get the workouts in, which I agree with. You'll never hear me say don't get your workouts in, but we need to find that balance, and sometimes that balance means just increasing daily activity rather than focusing on workouts on those days on.
Now, when we are looking at overall trying to make gains, we'll call it, it really comes back to weekly equated volume. So maybe on the 7 days on, we focus on the main body parts that we're trying to bring up. Meaning, like, let's say that you're trying to grow your arms and your shoulders. So maybe we just focus on every day I do 1 arm and 1 shoulder exercise for 7 days, because I'm still looking at overall volume on those specific muscle groups. Now, if I'm not trying to bring up a specific muscle group, I'm just training for health and wellness, then like all the suggestions that Mike made are really, really great. We could also look at, just 2 exercises every day for 7 days. Maybe it's 10 or 15 minutes in the morning before work, or when you get home from work, or maybe if you've got a lunch break, or whatever that looks like, versus it being, I need to get in an hour in the gym. So some ideas to think about there. Thank you, Chris. Okay, moving on. Bonnie says her Rose was happy that I was able to raise my barbell deadlift to 100 pounds and do 12 reps. Amazing job, Bonnie. Her Bud, my balance is becoming more stable when working with the stability ball. That's awesome. That's something we've been working really hard with. And Thorn, so frustrated with my dumbbell chest press that I couldn't do more than 1 round at 25 pounds. But the fact being, she's up to 25 pounds. Like, we started at 15. And so I can understand it is frustrating, because we talked about how do we get them up with our knees and our legs and using that momentum. She got 1 whole set done. I think it was a 10 or 12 reps with it. And then for the second set, she couldn't even get them up. So gassed those muscles. So dropped them back down to 20s and worked there. But I mean, 1 set at 25 pounds is more than last week. So I think we celebrate that.
100%. And then the other portion of this too, guys, is that if we want to get a chest press up, sometimes when we're working on our own, like Kayla was saying, kicking those weights up can be a challenge. So sometimes if we are really focused for whatever reason, I'm using chest as an example. Maybe we start to look at, instead of it being unilateral where we're doing, dumbbells with one in each hand, maybe we look at switching to like a barbell bench press where we have a bit more stability. We have safety bars that can catch that bar for us, and it gives us more of a solid base to push off of if our goal is strictly to, say, grow the chest or whatever that is. Obviously there's reasons for having certain exercises in there, but if it's really a sticking point in your mind and you're thinking, I really like to be able to add more weight to this, then, talking to us about maybe switching that out for a barbell bench press instead of a dumbbell chest press, just so that we have that stability, we have a little bit more of a safety mechanism in place, could definitely be something we'd look at.
Awesome.
And good job, by the way. 25 pounds for dumbbells is rocking it, Bonnie.
Yeah. Willow says, her rows, I'm seeing a little movement on the scale again. That's great news, but I'm working on relearning a solid schedule for myself. That's awesome as well, creating that schedule. Thorn, it's not going well in my workout arena. I'm just got too many things I can do. Maybe it's time to do another time audit. I love that she's already kind of forward thinking, like, what do I need to do? Because she's had a lot of shifts and changes in her schedule. So thinking ahead of, where am I spending my time? If workouts are really important to me, maybe I need to actually start scheduling them in and making them non-negotiable. Otherwise, they become not very important and they become an afterthought. Oh, I should have done a workout today. I didn't even think of it because it's not part of my routine.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe the routine is I get up, I have breakfast, I do my workout, or maybe I have to do my workout very first thing, or maybe I do my workout after the kids get home from school, or whatever it is in your routine that can be the trigger or the catalyst that reminds us that this is when I do it, versus it being an afterthought, or, oh, I should plan that in today. Because when we start shoulding, we should everywhere. And then we don't actually accomplish something.
Yeah. No, and the other portion of this too, and this isn't just Willow. This is literally everybody. When we start to look at why we started this journey in the first place and how important the workouts really are on the grand scale of things, right? Because when we start to it works for me too, right? Like we do bodybuilding. I've been consistently missing my workouts too, because right now my priority was getting myself better because we were just sick. And my priority is my new business and being able to have the available energy stores to be able to spin 8 times a week or whatever it is, right? So for me, the priority shifted a little bit. So then I guess my question for anybody that notices that they're consistently missing workouts or having a hard time scheduling those workouts in is, where did they slide on your priority list? And is there a way that we could get them back up where you say that you want them to be? Because again, we are all on a journey. So realizing that, we get to choose the things that we make time for. And if these workouts for anybody are important to you, your health goals, and how it makes you feel, then starting to reprioritize them up the list, right? Because they've obviously slid down. So what could we do? Again, time audit's a great way to start looking at this, that we could fit these back into our schedule where we do want them to be. Because again, priorities slide, priorities change. So we need to get clear about where that lays on your actual priority list and then start to make a plan to get back into them if that's where it lays in your priority list.
A client of mine and I had a conversation this week about using like a virtual calendar, right? Because she has a physical calendar. But I said, why don't we use a virtual calendar? Because you can set a time reminder on there. So you can set it to go remind me an hour before and then 20 minutes before, or whatever it is that you need to preemptively get there. So if you schedule it in on a virtual calendar, it sends you a reminder an hour before you're supposed to go do your workout. Now I have time to prepare myself for that. And then it sends me another 15-minute before my workout reminder. These are really good places to sit to be able to go, hey, now I am going to do this because I got reminded that I was going to do this, or this is when I said I was going to do it. And you actually have to clear the notification, right? So there is that piece of, now I got to make a choice. I said I was going to do it here, but maybe I'm not. So
Yeah. Well, and then I do want to throw this out there too, because we've worked with some fairly, I'll call them high level executives before, where they said that they couldn't ever schedule in their workouts. So then we started talking about exactly kind of what Kayla was saying with actually scheduling them in, because when you or anybody else, when you schedule something in like a doctor's appointment or a chiropractor or a massage or something that goes in your daytime or goes in your schedule that you know needs to be a non-negotiable, we make time for those things. So this was another tactic that we've used in the past where it's if you are so busy and run off your feet, but you always will stick to your schedule, you need to start scheduling those workouts in if they are an important thing for you.
yeah. Okay. So Christine says her Rose was feeling good after my workouts. Her Bud is hunger. Yay! Yay, Christine, we're feeling
Hunger
hungry.
cues. Let's go.
Thorn was stressed with her cows. She's so tired. And do you know what? She's calving right now. There's nothing I can do about that. We make our choices, Christine. No, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna snap our fingers. Calving season is over. No.
But you do get baby cow snuggles.
Yeah, and again, when we look at stressors coming up, we start to look at how are we dealing with that stress as it comes up. What are we doing for our self-care and to give ourselves a little bit of time away from the things that might be stressing us. So starting to look at your modalities to deal with stress, what those are, and if you can incorporate even a small amount of them each day, it'll help bring those stress levels down. So it should help alleviate a bit of the stress, which when we're not having as much cortisol running through our body, we're going to be able to sleep better, which is going to give us a better grasp on that tired point as well.
Well, recovery is going to be really important with sleep. So maybe we're looking at some form of yoga nidra to bring us down in the evening right before we go to bed to help with us feeling a little bit more rested. And if it's not yoga nidra, it's
EMDR.
No, it's not EMDR. It's oh my gosh.
ESPN.
It's non-sleep deep rest, NSDR. There we go. I knew it was going to come to me.
It's yoga nidra essentially.
It was close. It is the same thing as yoga nidra, so you can look up NSDR or yoga nidra
or ESPN.
No,
just watch this
on YouTube. Don't look up ESPN. Yeah, go ahead and look those up. And there is some YouTube ones. There's some Spotify ones. But about 40 minutes of yoga nidra or non-sleep deep rest is equivalent to 2.5 hours to sleep. So it might be something that you look at to bring in at the end of your day or somewhere in the middle of your day if you're needing an extra rest. Okay, Randy says his Rose is everything. That's great news. But is his fitness. Thorn, I fell twice in the last year on my right shoulder with my first fall hurting a lot, second fall not hurting so much. Here we are again with a sore right shoulder, talking with Mike and doing some thinking. I installed some duct tape and it seems to help. Did he actually use duct tape?
Yeah, he was going to use kinesiology tape, but then he decided to just use duct tape.
That sounds painful.
Well, we committed. We went full send.
Oh,
okay, so stability work, right? We've talked about this in the past. Obviously, when you step on ice and fall down, there's not a whole lot that we can do. But then again, like Kayla was talking about with Christine's and recovery and how important it is to get good quality sleep when we are looking to recover from injury or from our workouts. It's important to get lots of rest, lots of sleep to aid in that recovery. So again, maybe the yoga nidra, maybe that NSDR could help with you with this, Randy. And I love that you taped her up because I know that you said that you've noticed that it's felt a lot more stable. Randy also plays a crazy amount of pickleball, and we determined that the serve that he does was also playing with that shoulder a little bit. So yeah, lots of things going on there, but we're working on it.
That's good. Okay. So yeah, I would keep taping it until it feels better. Also, heat and ice on there in 20-minute increments for each will also help with bringing blood flow to the region and reducing inflammation.
And then the other thing that we can look at are the shoulder rehabilitation exercises that we did the last time when the shoulder was injured. I did give you that option if you wanted me to add some of those back in. You said we were going to wait on it, so you can definitely let me know if that's something that we you want to do to help strengthen around that shoulder capsule as well.
And for any sore joints, Voltaren is actually really helpful. I've actually never purchased Voltaren myself, but I started doing some research for another client of mine, and I found out that Voltaren actually has something that goes deep into the muscle tissue that actually helps with pain management. So it's the only over-the-counter one that's non-prescription that actually has stuff in it for pain management, as opposed to like an icy hot and stuff like that, to reduce inflammation. So it is something to look at.
Creams are also awesome. They have
Yes,
pain blockers in them. Woo!
that's true. Okay. Ashley says, her rose, I feel rejuvenated with eating and sticking to my calories, and I'm really looking forward to Easter. That's great news. But I'm enjoying my last set of these workouts, and I'll be happy to get something new.
Too bad. We're just gonna keep them there. No.
She's had push-ups for like 12 weeks because her first run through, she liked them so much that she asked for them in the second run through. And now she's like, please don't give me another push-up. So I can understand that. Thorn, staying active outside of my workouts, trying to find a balance between relaxing during spring break, but still getting off my butt every so often. Sometimes we need to go to the other end of that spectrum and take rest when we are not people that normally take it. And otherwise, maybe a sickness will kick you in the butt and make you take rest. That's what I learned. Yeah. So take that rest as it's available to you. But I love that you are trying to stay active.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and when we're busy people, typically it is hard to take that time off and to allow yourself space for extra rest. So I'm on Kayla's side here. Great job actually taking that extra rest if you have been, and allowing yourself a little bit of grace in that. That's awesome.
And there's a lot that can be said for getting recovery and rest. So that's where we actually do all of our fat burning, is in your recovery and your rest time. So if you are a person that's looking to lose body fat, you need that recovery. We underestimate how important sleep and recovery are to being able to aid in our weight loss. Okay. Now I believe we are moving to the week previous. So this is the previous week we're gonna jump into. So Chris said, Rose is running. I've got 3 to 4 runs in the last 3 weeks.
Nice.
Bud sleeping, slowly improving. I'm still waking a lot at night though. And Thorn, sleeping. I wish I could sleep the night through. I think it has a lot to do with my mental stress. I'm trying to work through it using journaling and meditation. I love that. Chris, do try the NSDR or the yoga nidra and see if it helps to change the brain waves and help your brain begin to chill.
I also happen to know that you may or may not be in Mexico right now. So hopefully that is going to help with those stress levels and alleviate a bit of that, because I know how hard you do work. So seeing that you got yourself a vacation, you are going to spend some quality time with the family. I absolutely love that.
Also, that week previous, so if not sleeping through the night is not a normal thing for you, that week previous there was a full moon. And I know that there's a couple of my clients that are going to roll over and be like, you're talking about the moon cycles again.
We love you, Murray.
But the reality is it really does play in and affect our sleep-wake cycles.
100%.
Okay. Ashley says that week her workouts were good. Her bud was, despite being out of routine in terms of evenings. I didn't eat out the way I normally would. That's great news, Thorn. Because I've had to eat meals earlier. I've been hungrier, close to bed. So snacking has been a bit of a problem. So let's talk about this. So we actually eat really late in the day. Like my kiddo was joking around with us because we eat dinner between 7 and 8 p.m., sometimes closer to the 8 p.m. most days. Snacking isn't a big thing in our house because we usually eat dinner and go to bed. But for people who eat dinner at 4 or 5 p.m., by the time you kind of come around to that 7, 8 p.m., we are hungry, and snacks do happen. So I think planning for those snacks into a plan when hey, I'm going to eat earlier today, therefore I know I'm going to want a snack later. Let's plan it in and let's plan for what maybe it might be. I had a client that we were chatting about snacking because the person was eating a lot of popcorn in the evening, and they made their own choice and started to switch things up and switched to whipped cream and berries, which was great because there's some good fats in there and some berries for the sweetness. And we don't tend to over consume those kinds of things. Whereas popcorn, she was eating about 5 to 6 cups of popcorn every evening, right? So we're really saving on the calories there. She also switched to Baby Bell cheese and apples. So we got the healthy fats and some carbohydrates there to curb the sweet and salty tooth. And then she threw some pistachios in there as well. So I would say start playing around with the snacks that you do normally eat, but do try to couple any kind of sweet things with some healthy fats or some protein to slow down that digestion, to stop that glucose spike, because we really don't want a giant glucose spike right before we go to bed. That will really, it'll affect your sleep. It's going to affect the way your body recovers and the fat burning that takes place. Like there's so much that goes into this.
Yeah, perfect. I love it because that's exactly what I was going to say. Instead of them being snacksidents, plan them.
Christine said, Rose, hard to say. I'm getting used to my calorie deficit. Yeah, that's good. We're honing things in. We were honing in on those portion sizes. Bud was for calories, Thorn, energy, but today is looking up, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume that has to do with baby cows again.
Yeah.
Energy levels and running around in the middle of the night after baby cows. Bonnie said, Rose, my barbell deadlift hang at 95 pounds is going well. We've been really working with the hinge position and what this looks like. Bud, I have banded kickbacks patterns down to an art. Okay, so I have to give a little bit of context to this. So she hates it when I give her anything with choreography. And so these
Charleston's for days.
Yeah, so this is a banded kick back. So like kicking your heel back
With a toe
with a
tap.
toe tap.
Yeah.
So she has to touch her toe down and then bring it back up and then bring the knee back in. And she kept forgetting the toe tap. So I love that that's where she's focusing. Thorn, the full body tricep push-ups are difficult for me. And I think that they're difficult for most people.
Yeah. Are they diamonds or are they just like the
They're just
tight
regular,
grip?
but it's the tucking of the elbows
Yeah.
and all of that. They're not
Military
easy.
push-ups.
They're not easy, and they really do work the arms.
Yeah, 100%. The other thing that you can do for those is work your rep range higher in a kneeling position and then go to the toed position after you max out at like 20 reps of the kneed ones.
Yeah.
I always make those reps like 6 to 20 so you can work them up like crazy from a kneeling position or from an incline position. And then we can slowly start to make it harder by modifying the style.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Okay, last one. So Willow says her rose was I'm releasing weight again, so excited.
Woo.
Her bud was Monday. I beat all my all-time step record at almost 13,000 steps, and I'm still feeling it. Tuesday, I modified and then conquered my workout, and I'm trying really hard to eat. Eating is something that she forgets to do, so this is awesome. Thorn, I'm working my way into a new schedule. It's been a messy transition. How do you manage a big change and the adjustment after without completely losing track? Or is it more important to understand there are times like this and focus on grace and then adjust to get back on course? That's a heavy one.
Well, and again, this comes back to what we were kind of talking about. I believe it was actually for Willow's last one for this last week, because it really does come back to your priorities and seeing, with the changes that are coming in your life, where do the priorities stack up now? Right? Because until we have a clear view on what is most important to us and why that might be most important to us, it's hard to create a list of things that need to be done if we don't know what is going to be the highest on that list. So really getting clear about what you want out of this life, what you want right now in this moment, and what you're willing to do to work for it.
And then also looking at, are the changes in your life right now temporary or are they permanent? Are they new changes, right? So sometimes if we're like, let's say we're working on a work project that's really time consuming and it's taking all of our extra time, but it's not a permanent thing. Maybe we adjust our schedule accordingly or adjust our goals. Hey, maybe I don't need to hit this goal as quickly this month. I'm going to practice some more grace for myself and focus on recovery or other aspects that maybe still lend way to the greater purpose here. If it's say more of this is a permanent fixture, meaning, I've picked up another job, or I've taken on more responsibilities for other things. If these are new permanent fixtures, then it becomes, how do I rearrange my time to be able to allow for the things I've said yes to, and to make room for the things that I want for myself? Because especially as adults, we tend to put ourselves on the back burner in hopes for other people. We tend to make room for our children and our friends and our bosses and our coworkers and everybody else before us. And so I'm going to use this example because I was talking with this client, I believe it was yesterday, and I was like, girl, just freaking wash your face. Like, spend the 5 minutes at nighttime and do something for yourself, even if it's small. Wash your face at
I
night.
shaved today. That was
Right?
me taking that time for me.
And so for her goal was the week prior is, I said, I just want you to put on mascara every day. I don't want you to put on makeup. I just want you to put on mascara every day and see what happens. And her attitude changed this last week because she's like, I felt good about myself. She's like, I didn't need makeup to make me feel good, but I did something for me. She's like, and I felt really good and I've had a really amazing week, right? So sometimes it's about the energy that we put into it that makes us feel good. So if we feel good on the outside, then it kind of lends way to feeling better on the inside, versus if we're feeling frumpy and we're not taking care of ourselves, then we're going to completely exude that lethargic energy, and that energy that doesn't lend way to that excitement and movement of energy is kind of the way I want to explain that. So start taking that time for yourself and putting your self-worth first and putting your self-worth out there. And those pieces are going to start to come back and actually give you more time and give you more energy.
Mhm.
It really is about those things that build us up versus the things that kind of chop us down.
Yeah, love it.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this recording. I hope you got something out of it. Our apologies again for it being a little late, being at 2 weeks. But you know what? That sickness kicked our ass. So
We're back, though.
we're back
Woo!
to feeling good. And so you guys will get to see us more often.
Have an awesome rest of your day, guys.
Bye for now.